Welcome to another episode of Not So Christian Brothers. We are so happy to be here today. It is Justin Caffrey and Colm Hayes. They are, of course, brothers, same mama, different names. You need to engage with the show. You need to like, subscribe, check out our YouTube, check out our Spotify. You can watch and listen to us. We're getting bigger and bigger, but in a good way.
Yes, and we had 76 new subscribers in the last month.
Really? That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's not all the people who watch the show. So there's some mother flippers out there watching, listening, connecting with us who aren't subscribing. So please, just all you got to do is just press the button.
Yeah, press it.
Do we get to see who they are?
Yeah,
Oh, wow,
I'm going to compile a list. I'm going to read it out.
Oh, cool. That'll be nice. That's a whole show.
Of only the people who haven't subscribed.
Shame.
That's like, do you remember the episode of Jay and Silent Bob, the movie, where they make the movie and they go around to all the people that ditched their movie and just beat the shit out of them?
That would be lovely.
I think that's a good way. So if you don't support the show, we're coming to get you.
That's nice.
Not so Christian Brothers on tour, and we have outfits.
Oh my God.
And we actually have new hairdos as well, because you now have a nice sheen to your grey hair.
I have the purple.
What?
What's it called?
Purple shampoo.
Purple shampoo. Yeah.
Oh, it is a bit foxy. Yeah.
So I was talking about it last week, and I just went into Boots and ordered it, and this girl gave it to me, and the shampoo.
And the shampoo.
Yeah. Matron.
Boots is offering many other things now.
But the only thing, I don't want to go on about too much about hair and grooming products for men.
Unless we're sponsored.
Another episode. But I do feel it's left things a little flat.
Where?
On the head, obviously.
Yeah,
Colm.
but I also think, at a difficult moment in your life, we were sat in a hospital room, and everybody was quiet for a few minutes, and Colm looks at my hair and goes, "How do you get your hair to look like that?"
Oh my God, Colm.
And my sister goes, "Oh, that's purple shampoo."
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, "It's just a kind of a surreal moment."
Yeah.
But I'm like, "Yeah, it is."
There is.
And now he has it on his
But
head.
actually, Justin on his Instagram put up a baldy, shavy thingy. Sorry, that was hot for you. I think you need to revisit this. I was like, who's this?
What's a baldy shavy thingy?
He had a thing
So
going
when
on.
I shaved my hair during COVID.
But then
Oh,
he
and you had
popped.
to. You shaved your face as well.
Then he popped back up as Santa, and I was like, it's gone. Like, it's gone. You want to talk about Bruce Springsteen?
I think when it goes a bit like that, if you're watching now, click and watch on video, it's sort of like Jerry Adams' brother.
I cut to him right at that point, and it's just this beautiful face that he looks like Jerry Adams.
Yeah, love child, because Jerry's a lot older than Justin. Love child.
I've left that particular group, and now I'm putting purple shampoo in my
Okay,
hair.
okay.
But, my wife sent me a picture of Pierce Brosnan, and she goes, "It's hilarious. You and Pierce Brosnan look like each other now." And I went, "Yeah, that is hilarious, except he's 70.
Oh, God.
So I was trying to find the positive
That's a
comments.
compliment, though.
Not really.
He's
He looks
just
like
got a lot of
70-year-old.
hair and a beard, right? I mean,
He's
when you
hot.
cover your face up with enough hair, you can look good.
Look at Chewbacca.
Exactly.
He is hot.
Same parents, different timelines, and united by chaos. Strap on, strap in, for the not-so-Christian brothers.
Bruce Springsteen.
Deliver Me From Nowhere.
Yeah, the movie. Okay. So I went to see it, and I'm a huge Boss fan. Always have been. Seen him live many, many times. Just think he's an amazing. He's a genius, musical genius, up there with any of the geniuses.
Paul McCartney and people that you will refuse to have any words said against them.
Paul McCartney, John Lennon. I think Elton John. I also think George Michael was one of the greatest songwriters of all time as well. I'll excuse Careless Whisper, but that was our wedding song. Back to Bruce Springsteen. So I was really looking forward to going to this movie. I knew it was about Nebraska and about the period of time that he was having some. Well, he's always had mental health issues. I think that comes with genius and creativity. But I just couldn't believe the actor. So I'm so invested in Bear, the TV show, and even his assistant in the Bruce Springsteen movie is also one of the waiters in Bear. So I just kept waiting for somebody to shout "Chef" during order, or plate him up. And he wasn't, even his facial expressions, they were quite the Bear. And then Jeremy Strong, and I know he was amazing in Succession and many other movies as well, playing the manager, John Landis. I thought he was too intense. I wanted to slap him. So I came away from it, and I just felt the pace, the flashbacks, there were too many. I mean, the movie's an hour and a half, 2 hours long. give me a flashback to what happened with your parents and the whole. I've got it. You don't need to tell me 30 minutes later almost the same flashback. I got it now. Because of that, I may have missed this amazing moment that you said you looked at your watch and your heart rate went through the window. Or your stress levels went up. So I missed that because I was looking at it as a movie too much. Do you know what I mean?
Car alarm going off.
Car alarm going off.
That's
I think in terms of the movie, I think first of all, I completely disagree with everything that you said in the context. Of
Well,
it.
that's unusual.
I think it's one of the most beautifully shot movies I've ever seen because I think it brings men into the
I
realm.
didn't say it wasn't beautifully shot.
Okay, so
We'll agree on that.
agree on
Just
that.
that.
I think John Landau's character is fantastic. I think he absolutely nails it because for men, when we're dealing with another man's mental health, it's really hard to interact or intervene. Most people don't know how to do it. I think they delicately make their way through it. We also have to bear in mind it was 1981. Nobody was talking about mental health at that stage. And you have one of these moments where you have in front of you an incredibly successful rising star who you also have a friendship with. So I think that's a nice delicate maneuver between the two of them without giving away the movie. But I think for me, what was interesting in terms of reflections afterwards, I felt really stressed and incredibly emotional. Yeah.
Do you have nachos?
No, I had
Okay.
minstrels.
Right. But why stressed? Okay. Like, I didn't get past that movie to get to the profound moment.
Because
I want it now.
But you remember we spoke last week or the week before. We talked about when I was younger, when you were younger. Obviously, at both times we're both younger at the same time. For context,
That's nearly as bad as my statement. What age were your parents were when you were born?
no time traveling goes on in this show. But we spoke about the fact that you said to me, when you were in your 20s, you were angry, and I used to come back from London and I'd see you, and we'd get into a fight. And I didn't really understand why I was angry, to be honest, when you asked me that question. And I remember those times. I remember those issues. But when I watched the movie, what was really interesting for me was I got to watch the fact that I could see how Springsteen was depressed and what that looked like in the context of his creative experience, his intensity for his life, and his anger of, trying to find this new lane of change that we all have to go through, this kind of metamorphistic moment in life. And I realized in the cinema, and my heart rate went mental, so my data the next day was quite funny to watch, that actually, when I look back and think I spent my entire 20s as a workaholic, which I profoundly did, but I was also depressed the entire time. And I've never known that for my entire life until last night.
See, I've never been a workaholic. No, but so it resonated because there was you were that moment in life. You were that Bruce Springsteen where he just, work was everything. I mean, you could see it in the relationship he had with that. Was it Faye, the guy who was, you could see it in a relationship with friends. Work was just work, and you're right. It was in between work and depression, and work and depression, and they all became the same thing. Like for a creative artist, depression can become work because that's the way the lyrics in Nebraska is. An awful lot of Sprucesteen's lyrics can be really dark, really sad. But so I need to revisit that.
But the point about the movie, which I think is interesting, is that he also leaves that behind, right? So for me, when I looked at it, I thought, okay, wow, there's a whole period of my life that I've forgotten about, where I was unquestionably depressed and at times angry when I'd meet you because I was a male.
Oh, it wasn't just me.
No, it wasn't just you, but I was a male. I was isolated.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to speak about how I was feeling. I didn't know how to articulate to my friends. And I didn't even know it was happening to me when I was in it. And then you often need an event, right? So I had to go into therapy when I was, 40, I think, to come to terms with my past in order to find that gateway moment to live. And I think the movie speaks to that really beautifully, that he either was going to continue to live in this pain-bodied state, or he was going to find a moment to change his life. And if he didn't find that, well, where would he be?
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, he had all the hits written, the big ones. During the making of Nebraska, he had "I'm on Fire," "Born on the 4th of July." Like, it was. Do you remember at one stage he was considering doing it a double album, and the second part of the album was going to be the "Born on the 4th of July." And he was right then just to do Nebraska, Park Nebraska, and that was maybe his way of. See, I couldn't get past the bear, and actually I couldn't get past. So,
but stay inside the emotion, right? The emotion, the reality for men is that idea, right? How do we articulate how we feel? Because that's what most men can't do.
I do. That is very important, and I think you speak about therapy. I'm in therapy. I know a lot of people now, men, who just talk about therapy all the time, which is brilliant. And there are ways. I think we are getting better at it. But you do make a good point. Back in 1982, when he was going through that, and most of the band were drinking, and he wasn't drinking. He never drank or took drugs. It must have been a very desolate, dark, lonely place to be, and his writing got him out of it. That was his cathartic moment, and for so many people who didn't have that, they probably ended their lives. So that I need to revisit and see that again.
And I think it's like for listeners and people who watch and connect with us on the show and stuff, I think it's a really interesting point that we also have to kind of be introspective in terms of understanding ourselves, because we're not necessarily the best people to take stock of where we're at. And I think, again, when I reflected on the movie last night, I would be socially recluse at the weekends. I would go out on a Friday night because it was a work thing. But then Saturday and Sunday, I just didn't connect to people. That was always the running joke. Like, don't try and call him or ring him because you're not going to be there. I just didn't want to connect. But I didn't know that I was depressed. And I have a master's in psychology, and I spent 5 years studying it since 2015. But it took me 10 years to see depression in myself. And it happened in a theatre last night. And I'm not going to lie, I cried. Like, Beatrice looked at me. She's like, wow, does the movie mean that much? I thought it was. And when we came home, I didn't speak to her until this morning when she brought me coffee and she goes, can you talk now? And I went,
okay.
I think so, but I don't really know how to articulate what I discovered last night.
Well, you really, so it's okay. It had a huge, profound effect on you. And that's, if it was also cathartic and eye-opening for you and mind-opening, it's brilliant. I mean, there have been movies that have done that to me. I mean, I have to say, the Scorsese documentary has actually helped me quite a lot. And if you watch it, you might see, because I do feel his mind is quite similarly broken as mine is, and how he got through it, I thought was really interesting. So for me, that would be something that I would go, God, that's really helpful. Some of the stuff he says during the documentary, I actually go, wow, that's at this moment in my life, that's incredibly helpful.
This is a good moment for a segue. But wow, Justin, that's oh my God, I have so much to say about that. But Colm, can you never say you can't get yourself out of the bear again? Because I just had such a weird image.
Oh, it's a bit like Leonardo DiCaprio.
And you said it 3 times. Like,
when he
you
actually
said
gets into the bear.
3 times.
Did I?
You're like, I can't get out of the bear.
I can't get out of the bear.
I was going to get you guys to talk about, and I think it's quite, and I've actually had one of those moments. I mean, I could speak because, as you know, Justin, I don't shut up. So I did speak to someone after, but one of those films where you come out and you go, God, that was mind blowing. But I was going to ask you guys to talk about, if you could do life again, what would you have done differently? And it's not about regrets or, oh God, I wish I hadn't taken that course or gotten married. It's more about, if you could have been reborn, what would you do differently?
God. I often say, and this is true, I regret nothing and I regret everything. Because there's times I regret everything.
Can you take a position?
Huh?
Can you take a position?
Somewhere down the middle.
Between nothing and everything.
Yeah. The bits. No, because there's times I regret something, and then when I think about it later, I go, well, I don't really. That just is life. Or the stuff I've done, or maybe somebody I've hurt, or something I've said that I really regretted. And then you think about how you got to that point. And you can't regret it because the journey got you to the point of saying that thing or doing that thing. So then you'd have to regret the journey. And to regret the journey, then you have to go back a year later to the point that you began the journey. And that's obviously when a previous journey ended. So you're do you know what I mean? You're like in a tornado or a cyclone of regret. I mean, simple thing, but I wanted to go to LA when I went to college. I did screenwriting, drama, acting, not really acting, no. You've seen First City, and I wanted to go to LA, and I wanted to get some money together and go to LA, and I got a job on a radio station. I didn't want to be in radio, never wanted to be in radio. I've never had the urge to be in radio at all. Got a job in a radio station. They started paying money. I was going to put money together to actually go to LA, and then Anne began working in the radio station, and we fell in love. And obviously, I didn't go to LA. We did a couple of times, but I didn't stay. And I didn't go to LA. And then obviously had a family and everything else that's happened in life, And I mean, we had our 35 years of ups and downs, screaming, loving, crying, hugging, kissing, separating up and down, everywhere. Do I regret that? Yeah, some of it. But do I regret overall? No, because I couldn't imagine my life without Anne. And without my kids. So it is a tough one to say. So that's why I say I regret everything and I regret nothing.
Yeah, okay.
And I that's available on T-shirts. I regret nothing is on the back. I regret everything is on the front.
From Temu.
Yeah. No, I regret nothing. I regret everything is on the back when you're walking away. That's a better one, yeah.
Can't believe that you actually think that much about it. But I think I don't think there's anything that I particularly regret. I think actually listening to you there and what we're talking about, the only thing I'd actually regret is that
this podcast.
It's never agreeing to be here. No, is in the realm of therapy. I had goes at it before, and I actually regret leaving it. I had a great opportunity to be in therapy in 2000 or 2001, and I left because she asked me questions that I found uncomfortable about myself and my past. And to me, it was only when I started to do that work on myself that I think principally saved me, saved my marriage. I think unquestionably brought me to a place of being the father that I wanted to be. But it was 10 years into my marriage before I did it. I think I had a chance to do that before I met Beatrice, and I didn't. I probably regret that.
But do you not think, I think back when I tried therapy a couple of times before and it didn't work. A guy's got to be ready, especially a guy has got to be ready. So she asked you uncomfortable questions. She didn't ask you questions. She did ask you questions, but you decided they were uncomfortable and you weren't ready to answer them. And I think if you're not ready at that period in time to answer them, you're not ready to answer them. And you can force yourself maybe, but I think a guy's got to be ready. Therapy now. It's working. I'm working through stuff. Is it working? I don't know, but I'm working through stuff, and I'm being very open and I'm being very honest. While 2 previous times before I wasn't, so it didn't work. And they did ask me uncomfortable questions, and at one stage I stood up and walked out, same as you. But I think you've got to be ready. But I would have preferred to have been ready then rather than now, because now I'm getting therapy while probably when Anne was around as well, I probably should have as well, and it might have made me a better person,
Doesn't that go back to the sliding doors moment that you talked about, with the regrets of having some and having none at the same time?
I know, that's what I'm saying. I regret everything and I regret nothing because there's no point in regret. You do this for a living. There's no point in regretting because you're going to tear yourself apart. you're going to rip yourself to shreds.
Be a bit of crack though, can't it?
It can, well, yeah, but it's sort of 2:30 in the morning when you wake up and you're sitting there and you're shaking and you're going, oh my God, why did I do that 15 years ago? Like, that's what I mean. You can regret everything, but you have to regret nothing because there is nothing you can do about. I think the only thing you can do, I honestly believe, is that if I regret something I did to somebody and I hurt them, that I make damn sure that I won't do that again.
Or you could apologize.
Does it work?
Not if they're not around anymore.
Okay. Well, I mean, if they are around, not around, you can still apologize.
Well, okay, some of them are still around, but I still don't like them.
Okay. But I think
I just won't do it to somebody I like.
I think in terms of
Wait until they're dead.
in terms of the therapy point, I think yes, of course. Look, absolutely, you have to be ready, but it's also like, when is a good time to have a baby?
When you're pregnant. This sounded weird. That's a conversation that a lot of people of Alex's generation are having now, and it's really interesting to hear them talking about it.
Because it's never a good time, right? It's always like, well, I have a better job, a bigger house, right? There's never a good time. You just have to do stuff sometimes. And I think for anybody who's listening in terms of managing their mental health, if it feels hard, then you should be doing it. If it feels easy, then you probably shouldn't. And I think the point of regret, if I could do anything, I would go back to myself to say, when emotions are hard, it's time to lean in and just explore it better. Because I think then we just get on the path to healing ourselves. And I don't mean healing in some kind of hippy-dippy kind of way. I mean in the context of coming to terms with who you are. So I think from a mental health perspective, if it's hard, then you should be doing it. But agreed, we both didn't, right?
But I'm just thinking of age and maturity, and we both now see that is the way. You're absolutely right. Like, I know, when I was going through some stuff, I should have dealt with it a lot quicker than I did, but I just didn't know I was in that dark space, and I didn't have the tools to get me out. Later on, I learned some. But what I'm saying is, like, if it's a 19-year-old now, he's not going to find the strength in himself, possibly.
But we're saying to him, so we're taking a moment in time to stop and say, you know what? Nobody said to me, go and get help.
It
was not available. It's not a conversational piece you're going to have with your mates in the pub. Nobody's going to put their arm around you and say, you need help. The only person who's going to take you to that point is yourself. And if it feels hard, fucking do it.
And yes. And I think you need to listen to and speak to people who have got through that, or have like you're saying, have the ability now to say, look, this is what you need to do. If you're in a really dark place and you're 19 years of age and you're saying it's really hard, step into it, I'd say absolutely you should. But you've got to go and speak to somebody. You've got to find help, and it's not your friends. They possibly are half the reason. And that's where therapists come in, or learned gentlemen like yourself with long flowing beards. That's where, you've got to speak to somebody. I know from me through all the years, I know you've spoken about it as well, if you don't just speak to somebody, man. And that was, at that point, okay, I'll give you this. At that point in the movie with Springsteen, his best friend and then the other lad from the Bear, he had them around. There was nobody else around for him, but they spoke to him and they helped him through it. You got to get help.
And he had them because he was an important artist and they resonated with him because he was at that level. For most folks, you're not that important in anybody else's life. And everybody's worrying about their own shit all the time. Nobody really has an awful lot of time to pay attention to you. So if you're wandering around the world thinking, why doesn't everybody notice that I'm not feeling that good? It's because they're all too busy taking care of themselves. You have to take responsibility. And if you need help, you got to get it. And that's my regret that I didn't do it sooner. And I hope if any part of our message can resonate with people, it's get help.
Yeah. The reason that your man was around in that movie as well is because it was part of the contract with the Bear. He worked with him.
Bear, I mean,
God.
You just won't let this bear go. He's hugging. It's a big bear hug.
Still in that bear. Are you going to get out? Just pull out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone should like, subscribe,
Mm-hmm.
and listen, and send us money.
Send
that
us
what we're
money.
saying?
Oh,
no,
no, I don't
No.
think
No,
we're
no,
not
no.
starting
Not
that
yet.
yet, are we?
I'll take money.
Yeah, okay. Well, then, yeah, there's a box there if you want to put some money in.
Please do subscribe. Please share this with your friends. We're slowly but surely making a difference. We're slowly but surely getting our numbers up.
Yeah.
We want to get a show that has topical points
Mm.
for men to see the world and for women to see the world through men's eyes.
Mm.
As disturbed and all as that may be.
This is the stuff men don't talk about, not so
And
Christian brothers.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to send
Yes.
some messages as well, because we are starting to get some nice
A
DMs.
lot of good DMs.
Messages. Are you going to do requests?
yeah. Shout outs. Should do shout outs.
we'll put on. Let's put on.
Oh, God.
Soundtrack.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh, my God. What is this?
We should
We
go.
now have our mother's LPs.
Oh, my
How
God.
bad do we need therapy?
You guys
I
need
got my
therapy.
mum's. Yeah, we've got.
Hang on, let
friends.
me get your therapist, Colm, 1 sec.
We've got. He's ghosted me. Oh, other podcast.
Jeez,
Oh,
that's
stop.
a whole different one.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for
Okay,
watching.
and we're
everyone.
back with the after show Sunday.
Oh yeah. Okay.